Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have made it back to another Friday, and here we have some more big news. So now we have, I believe it's going to be David Schwartz confirming something. I love it when they confirm things. Confirming something I've been saying for a long time. But I'll let him tell you himself. But we have some XRP news. We have some Bitcoin news. We have some Solana news. And I believe do we have some banking news here? I don't know. We'll find out at the end. All right, so let's begin here. This article is titled Crypto, Ripple Stablecoin, the Secret Weapon for a Spectacular Rise in XRP. Remember, I've been saying for a while that it's just a gateway. That's why, even though they have this stablecoin coming out, or I think they just said they made it official yesterday. Did they release it yesterday? Is that what they were making official? I can't remember if that was what they were bringing clarity to, whether it was either the name RLUSD that they made official or that they actually released it. You got to find that out for yourself. But anyway, despite them coming out with that, the point is they continue to push XRP as the best. From David Schwartz on up to Brad Garlinghouse, all right? So that has not changed, which means what? What will be the purpose of the stablecoin? The stablecoin will obviously be a gateway to bring in institutional investors that are still sort of on the fence about utilizing XRP or crypto as a whole. It's a gateway. But let's read this little tidbit here. It begins as such. Ripple's recent announcement of its intention to soon launch a stablecoin backed by the US dollar, the RLUSD, has sparked some concerns within the community. Why do they always begin like that? We already know that. Communities are concerned about a lot of different things. And a lot of people use fear to their advantage. Just know that also. This is a chessboard. People will use fear to move people this way. Then they use fear to move them that way. There's a lot of different reasons why. So let's just put that on the table also. But anyway, it says here, however, the XRP Ledger Apex Summit 2024 Ripple executives work to dispel these unfounded apprehensions. So we already heard from Brad Garlinghouse before. Let's hear what David Schwartz has to say. This is according to David Schwartz, Ripple CTO, the arrival of the RLUSD is far from threatening XRP's position. It will instead act as a catalyst to unlock its full potential and open new opportunities. So this is similar actually to what he said in there was an article written recently where he said something similar to this in a tweet. All right, you know how they crop the tweets and articles and such. So this is he's pretty much just reiterating that, but it says he emphasized the close ties that will bind RLUSD to XRP, making their coexistence not only possible but highly synergistic. It says, echoing this sentiment. Oh, then Brad Garlinghouse comes right behind him. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, stressed that RLUSD will be an accelerator for the XRP ecosystem as a whole. Yeah, so this is similar to what we read the other day. Designed and conceived to foster success for all stakeholders, this innovative stablecoin will greatly facilitate access and use of XRP by offering optimized entry and exit gateways. So they've not only doubled, but they've tripled down on what they've been saying over the past few weeks and have confirmed that the stablecoin is going to enhance XRP, is going to boost XRP up, is going to bring institutional investors in. This is what they're saying. Hey, what more can I tell you? But it's similar to what I've been speculating. OK, now we have more big news. So now let's move on here. I should have made this other article first, honestly. Let's get to this article here. Not sure why my screen went black. That's a little bit weird, but it's from payments.com. And it is titled Ripple and Archax partner on tokenization of real world assets. Now, wait, this is an expansion of a partnership because there's big things coming with real world asset tokenization. It starts here. Ripple and Archax have extended their existing collaboration, aiming to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets onto the XRP ledger over the coming year. This collaboration brings together Ripple's enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions and Archax's capabilities as a UK financial conduct authority, regulated digital asset exchange, broker, and custodian, the companies said in a Thursday press release. There's going to be a lot happening in the United Kingdom. Quant is heavy over there. Ripple is heavy over there. They've been collaborating. They've been collaborating with the Bank of England and a lot of other financial institutions over there. Something big is brewing over there in the UK. Because Archax works with financial institutions to enable them to tokenize their financial real-world assets, this collaboration will allow those institutions to select the XRPL to do so. According to the release, quote, "We have hit the tipping point for mainstream adoption of digital assets for real-world use cases," unquote, Graham Rodford, CEO of Archax, said in the release. Quote, "There is clear real-world utility in use cases like RWA tokenization for the operational efficiency, access to liquid markets, and transparency inherent to crypto. And Archax has already tokenized assets such as equities, debt instruments, and money market funds," unquote. So they're already picking up big motion, and they're saying it's going to be even bigger in the future. I believe it. The XRPL, you have everyone saying this, from BlackRock to Valkyrie to ARK Invest, Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton. Everybody's raging about RWA, real world asset tokenization, but the big money hasn't come yet. It hasn't begun yet. They're getting in position. So Ripple is doing a good job here, getting in position. It says over the past, it has a heck of an advantage if you ask me. Over the past decade, XRPL has housed more than 1,000 projects, processed over 2.8 billion transactions, and supported over 5 million active wallets, with a network of over 120 validators per release. Quote, "Our industry is at the start of the next major adoption phase in which blockchain technology will deliver real utility in financial markets at scale," unquote, Marcus Infanger, senior vice president at Ripple X, said in a release. Quote, "Ripple is excited to see Archax's vision of driving the adoption of blockchain and the digital asset technology amongst financial institutions come to life, while further underlining the credentials of the XRPL as one of the leading blockchains of RWA tokenization," unquote. In another recent move, Ripple said Tuesday that it will support innovation of XRPL blockchain in Japan and South Korea. Yeah, we covered that also. It's been one big announcement after another. It says here, with the newly launched XRPL Japan and Korea Fund, which is designed to provide support, quotes, "provide support for a range of robust initiatives to foster innovation of the XRP ledger in both countries," unquote. Let's scroll down. All right, so there you have it, folks. More big things happening with Ripple, with the XRPL, with XRP. Real world asset tokenization is coming. The positioning looks very, very solid right now. I wonder what else is happening. I mean, is it, once again, I want to pose the question. Is it strange to anyone else how much activity has been happening in this last 3 weeks? Just one thing after another, after such a long spell of almost, now of very little happening. We have all of these expansions of partnerships announced. There's just so much going on right now. It's unbelievable. So now let's move on here to a little bit of Bitcoin news. So this article here is titled "Bitcoin, Chances of Waking Up to $200,000 Bitcoin Growing Higher." This is coming from Samson Mao. Let's scroll down and find out what the gentleman has to say. Samson Mao believes that odds of Bitcoin Omega candle. They always have these new names for candles. I remember the first time I heard of a God candle. Now they have this Omega candle. Like, one thing I'll say about crypto, they make it fun. It says odds of a Bitcoin Omega candle are getting bigger, while the report says that FOMO is on the rise. Really? All right. Okay. I haven't seen it, but if you say so. Samson Mao, Bitcoin maximalist and chief executive officer at Bitcoin adoption oriented company Jan3, has tweeted that the exchanges, or the chances, sorry about that, the chances of Bitcoin printing a giant Omega candle on the charts have drastically increased. If there are no Godzilla candles on the horizon, why do they keep using different names? We get what you're trying to say, though, but Godzilla candles, okay, on the horizon, then the chances for Omega candles are increasing. According to his X post, Mao believes that, quote, the Bitcoin coil, unquote, is becoming, quote, super compressed, unquote, now. Therefore, the longer a Godzilla candle is missing, quote, the more likely it is to get an Omega, unquote. Scroll down here. One of the commentators jestingly asked him if she should be ready to go to sleep with Bitcoin trading at $70,000 and then waking up to Bitcoin hitting $200,000. I get the $1 million per Bitcoin believer. Mal responded, quote, yes, unquote, to that. So he's a kind individual. Says a recent report published by Sentiment on-chain data aggregator has revealed that the flagship cryptocurrency Bitcoin plunging below $67,000 on Thursday for the second time this week has resulted in the second biggest surge in crowd Bitcoin buying interest over the 60 days. FOMO and greed are on the rise now, Sentiment concluded. Here suggests two possible scenarios of how Bitcoin and traders should behave after that. The first one assumes that Bitcoin price skyrockets and traders will start jumping on this bandwagon, hoping that Bitcoin will continue ascending as occurred in late May. My focus right now, I'm watching the institutions. This institutional FOMO that's really going to matter this time around. They've already taken over Bitcoin. It's too late. So yes, retail, I think most of retail has been driven into meme coins. I think that's where they're going to stay. You know, they're addicted to the gambling of meme coins. It just is what it is. That's what I've seen. I think that mostly institutions will be playing and big holders of Bitcoin will be playing with Bitcoin and making the price go up or down this time around. You know, so that's how I see it. So I'm watching them. Let's move on to this next article here. So this next article is titled Bitcoin ETFs see sharp $226 million outflow amid ETH ETF news. After a successful Wednesday, spot Bitcoin ETF saw another significant downturn yesterday. According to data from Farside, June 13th saw outflows totaling $226 million, contrasting sharply with $100 million recorded on June the 12th. It says Fidelity's FBTC led the outflows with $106 million. This is the highest outflow FBTC has seen in the past month and a sharp trend reversal from $50 million inflow it saw on June the 12th. Grayscale's GBTC ranked second with $61 million in outflows, followed by ARKB's $52 million outflow. Only BlackRock's IBIT saw inflows yesterday, totaling $18 million. Interesting. They have a nice little chart here. This continues the 44-day streak of continuous inflows to IBIT. IBIT's track record of inflows has only broken since its launch. Maybe they mean only broken once? They don't put a number in there. Just IBIT's track record of inflows has only broken since its launch. Am I reading that wrong? I don't think I am. Let's keep it going, folks. The massive discrepancy between Wednesday's inflows and yesterday's outflows could, at least in part, be attributed to the volatility across the broader market. This volatility was a result of the latest news coming from the SEC, which stated that the first spot Ethereum ETFs will be approved this summer. While market analysts doubt that ETH ETFs will garner the same institutional attention, why would you doubt that? They've been praising Ethereum. I've read a lot of articles, but that doesn't guarantee that they're going to go heavy with it like they did with Bitcoin. But they have been praising Ethereum a lot as of late. Just look up the articles, do the research. I'm telling you the truth. The new product would undoubtedly draw some volume from Bitcoin ETF. The fact that Bitcoin ETF market has so far reacted with significant outflows on rumors and news about ETH ETFs further confirms this. I don't draw too strong of a correlation between the two. I think there's a lot of other factors contributing to Bitcoin outflows. 100% I do. This article here is Solana article, and it is titled Solana Labs debuts blockchain customer loyalty platform Bond. And it begins as such. Solana Labs has launched Bond, a new platform that will let non-crypto brands, that's interesting, non-crypto brands leverage the power of blockchain tech to engage with customers. They could be onto something with this. This is interesting. Solana Labs, the company behind Layer 1 blockchain Solana, could soon be bringing many more non-crypto native brands and their customers into Web3 without many of them even knowing. As of June 12th, the firm has officially launched Bond, its new blockchain-based customer engagement platform aimed at helping brands, quote, drive long-term loyalty, unquote. Scroll down a little bit. Solana Labs, the new platform, will address, quote, critical limitations, unquote, in today's loyalty programs, namely losing connection with the end customer if a product is ever resold or gifted. While Bond is blockchain based, it's unlike some of the firm's other recent launches, such as Solana Mobile. It doesn't put crypto front and center. It doesn't need to be either. Solana Labs described it as, quote, a seamless user experience where customers won't even realize it's Web3, unquote. Solana promises brands won't be required to have any blockchain experience either, since the service will be accessible through a single application programming interface, it said. All right, so now let's move on here. We probably could squeeze in one more article, I'm guessing, here to keep the video on the shorter side. So we have a Fed article and we have an SEC article. Do we cover the Fed? Let's cover the Fed. Why not? I think it's a short one. So this article is titled Fed Signals 1 Rate Cut This Year, but keeps door open to 2. Oh my goodness, more Fed confusion. They're so confused. From a professional organization, aren't we supposed to get something definitive? Powell describes higher inflation projections as conservative. Oh, he's telling. Go ahead, Mr. Powell, speak. Officials boost estimates of long-run rate amid strong economy. Federal Reserve officials dialed back their expectations for interest rate cuts this year. All the real experts, all the economists, everyone said that that this could happen. And now it's happening. Though and I say that because a lot of others said, no, there's going to be multiple cuts, and they just keep selling this cut. And I'm like, how? How could they do that? How could they have multiple cuts? But the confused Fed, they're keeping the door open for 2. We'll see. It says, though Chair Jerome Powell kept the door open for more, as he emphasized the new forecast represented a conservative approach. Let's see if we can squeeze in this last article here. So I wanted to see what this SEC article was about. So it's titled, what is the U.S. SEC's in-house court under Supreme Court review? That is so confusing. Let's find out what's going on. It says the U.S. Supreme Court is due to rule in coming days on whether to curtail the Securities and Exchange Commission's use of in-house judges to adjudicate enforcement actions. Whoa, this is major. Why did I not hear about this before? I read a lot of articles. I didn't see this. It says with potentially big implications for other agencies. Yeah, this is huge. The court last year decided to take up the current president administration's appeal of a lower court's ruling that deemed the SEC's in-house tribunal proceedings unconstitutional. Here are more details on the case and its implications. It says the SEC has a handful of in-house administrative law judges who focus on adjudicating enforcement actions referred to them by the agency's commissioners. According to the SEC, the judges independently adjudicate the SEC's allegations against the individual or entity. They can conduct public hearings similar to the federal bench trials, issue subpoenas, and rule on motions and admissibility of evidence. The judge prepares an initial decision determining whether sanctions are warranted, which the commissioners then review. The process is generally faster than suing wrongdoers through the courts, and the judges have expertise in securities laws. Why is it being challenged? Yeah, this doesn't even sound right. So they would lean in the favor of the SEC every single time. How's that fair? That's how it seems, in my opinion. Why is it being challenged? The Supreme Court case stems from a challenge brought by Texas-based hedge fund manager George Jarkessi, whom the SEC fined and barred from the industry in 2013 after determining he had committed securities fraud. An SEC administrative judge found Jarkessi and his firm Patriot 28 violated SEC laws, including the misrepresenting the value of his fund's holdings. The SEC then ordered them to pay $300,000 civil penalty and Patriot 28 to disgorge nearly $685,000 in ill-gotten gains. Jarkessi successfully challenged the legality of the in-house system. In New Orleans, based Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which 2022 found that in-house proceedings violated the U.S. Constitution's Seventh Amendment right to a jury trial. Even without that, it still doesn't seem fair. How do you get a fair shake with someone who works for the institution, the regulatory institution? It says other conservative and business groups. Why does it matter who they are? Like it says, which supported Jarchezi, have also said the agency has an unfair advantage litigating cases before its own judges. That's it. It doesn't matter who they are. Just I think as a person, you could look at that and see like it's not fair if if Jeff, let's say this guy Jeff, I'm just taking a random person's name. Let's say someone named Jeff alleged that I took his baseball and he wanted to take that to court, but Jeff has his own court and his own judges. I may not have taken his baseball, but those judges may still lean in his favor and say, yeah, he took your baseball, $650,000 fine or whatever, disgorgement, because they work for Jeff. They're incentivized to side with Jeff. So anyway, so this is going to be interesting. This is which way is the court leaning? We'll close out with this in November. In the November hearing, justices signal they keep putting the people's like political affiliation before their title. I'm just going to say justices. I can see what they're trying to do here. That don't work on me. I just need to know the information. I hate when companies and media try to play me. Just give me the information. Don't try to slant me. That's not going to work anyway. It says justices signal skepticism toward the legality of the system, focusing on the Fifth Circuit's finding that the in-house proceedings are unconstitutional. The conservative justices, oh, there you go again, expressed concern that the SEC administrative proceedings are conducted for certain charges, such as fraud without a jury, when similar cases alleging fraud in federal court would have one. Quote, it does seem to me to be curious that, unlike most constitutional rights, you have that right until the government decides that they don't want you to have it. Okay, and that's unquote from Chief Justice John Roberts said. Yeah, so there you have it. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You know, listen, I'm not pro any systems at all. I'm not pro any of these traditional systems. I'm not a part of any of these traditional systems. So I'm on the outside looking in to all of this stuff that they have going on here and how they put these things and these political affiliations on the chessboard. I'm on the outside. You know, I don't believe in mankind setting up a structure for me. I believe that I'm okay without their structures, without their dealings. I remember what Tupac said. Yes, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Everything's corrupted once a man touches it. Yeah. I trust myself more than them. I do. So, anyway, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.